evening, 6 p.m. If you could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to number 3, if you had time to take a look at the agenda, do you need to amend it at all or any changes?
Since Jeff is here, does he need to be sooner or not?
If you want to move Jeff up, we could a ways. Otherwise, yeah, he's, 14B,
Yeah.
or, 14A and 14B, so.
What's your thoughts, Jeff? You're the one that's gotta, would you rather be sooner than later?
Always.
Could we move it up?
Move him up to number 7.
Right after public input, I think.
Yeah. I will make them, well, do I need to make a motion?
Yeah.
To move,
To approve it.
We're not really making a motion, we're just
Approving it.
approving the agenda with it,
okay, I make a motion to approve the agenda, moving item 14 up to underneath 7.
Do we want it underneath 7 or right under public input before 7?
right after public input.
Okay, so it would be under 6 then.
Under 6, okay, under 6, yeah.
I will second that.
Any other discussion?
Me.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to number 4, alderman interviews if needed. Don't look like we have anyone here this evening for that. Moving on to number 5, approved minutes from November 21st meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 21st.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to public input. Do we have any public input this evening?
Yes.
I'm coming on behalf of Rox Transit. I'm the Assistant Transit Director. We run the Beersford Alcester Transit. We had sent out a request for funding to fulfill our match obligation needs with our federal funding, and I hear that we did get that approved with the City of Alcester, and we just wanted to say thank you and appreciate it. These matching funds go to help us with our daily operations, drivers' wages, vehicles, fuel. All of that keeps rising, and we keep finding the need to ask our communities for those matching funds. Here in the City of Alcester, I don't know if you guys realize, but we did do, in 2023, we did do over 700 rides in and out of the City of Alcester. That's 20,000 miles. So we're helping a lot of your community members get to and from appointments, shopping, to visit family, whatever it is they need to do. And we hope to continue to do that for many years. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, I do have a check for you this evening, so I'd like to hand this to you right now. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public input? If not, we'll be moving on to 14. A would be nuisance properties. I guess you want to do it right now, right?
Yep.
So Jeff, if you want to talk about it a little bit here, we sure look good.
Well, as you well know, we've got 2 properties that we have to address. We addressed them a year ago now, and we were advised to let them go through their process this year to see what they could get done and what could be progress could be shown by the end of the year. I'm here to report that practically nothing has been done. On Iowa Street, he put some more siding on the front of the house, which supposed to help the porch, which has actually started to come apart already. If you've noticed, the posts are kind of swinging south right now, so I'm afraid we've got a problem with the structure of the new garage, new porch that he put up. The interior, from what we can tell, nothing has been done. To the exterior, the building, the back half of the building, there is no siding, there's no windproofing, there's no moisture preventer, nothing's been done. And the foundation of the basement on the south side of the house, part of it's gone. We have witnessed rodents coming in and out of that area, and it's not good. To my knowledge, he has done nothing except that siding. Structurally, I don't know if that building is any good or not. To fix it up, to repair it, given the inspection that we did originally 3 years ago, and what's been done today, financially, it would probably be cheaper to tear the building down than it would be to try and fix it. There's just too many things that were wrong with it, and I can't say inside that they haven't been fixed because I have not seen it. The only way we can make a determination on that would be to get an inspection done. And that would require a court order, and I would insist that I have the police with me when we enter the property. We have a history with him on it, and I prefer not to be there by myself. The other project, I don't know what the address we call that, the house.
Beyond Garage, 202?
202
Broad Street.
202 Broad. He bought the house at auction, he fixed it up and started fixing it up, and structurally, he did a very good job with what he has done to the building itself. The interior was completely gutted and restructured. It then stopped. Our understanding with him was that he was going to park a trailer and live in it for approximately a year while he finished the building. And we granted him that permission, and we were hoping that it would develop from there. Very little has happened since then. We now suspect, we have not checked it, but we suspect that the sewer has now been hooked up directly into the storm sewer, into the sanitary, where it was originally supposed to be a temporary hookup. I believe he has encroached on the alley in the back. He's done some landscaping work for whatever reason, some lumber landscaping around the trees, which has encroached on the alley, which has to be removed. He has done little up to the house itself since that time, with the exception of he painted a couple of samples on the building to see what it looked like. I have not been in the house, but from looking through the windows, I can tell you not much has been done. My recommendation on the house on Iowa, do an inspection to confirm whether or not it is habitable. And if it's deemed not habitable, I would recommend that the place be condemned and destroyed. On 202, I think the time has come to advise him that he has to move the camper or the trailer off the premises. If he wishes to continue living in it, you have a trailer park in town, there are spaces available there, he can move it there and live there. I don't think we should have him living on that property anymore. It's a free rent for him, it's a pretty good deal. That pretty well covers both of those properties. Anybody got a question?
So typically when this would happen, but anywhere, what if they don't have the money? How is that handled then? Does the city have to do it, or what?
Well, you're talking about finishing it, or?
Just even to take it down?
If push comes to shove and it's a condemnation, it would be the city's responsibility to tear it down. Then the property, the costs of all the costs incurred for construction or demolition, legal fees, anything else that it costs the city would be assessed against the property.
Against the property, okay.
I'm assuming the one in Iowa, you said there's no vapor barrier on the back and the
It's
foundations.
just raw wood.
Yeah, so it's gonna be full of rot and mold.
Yeah,
So there's no way, even if we have it inspected, it's gonna be not habitable regardless, I would assume.
Unless they want to spend an awful lot of money.
Yeah, I would say probably
The answer is they won't happen.
70 grand to probably make it livable.
It wouldn't, it could, yeah, more. And 202, that's a viable house. If he would get it done, it'd be great, but he's gotta do something. If he's gonna do it, we need to push him on it. And the other thing is, we can ask for an order to condemn and give him a deadline to either fix it, sell it, or tear it down.
When Jeff was here last week,
Yeah.
his building permit is expired, so we'll at least have to,
Both of them would be, right?
they're both, yeah.
And both
We
permits
looked
are
at one on
expired.
Broad Street, but, yeah, they're both expired.
What's the status on that garage where the roof has caved in? I believe that would be over on Union. Is that correct?
Oh, okay, yep. That is, now it's time for getting a court order.
Okay.
Yeah. His time has expired.
Yep.
For the one on Broad, you said that the guy was living out of his trailer.
He's got a full trailer there.
Is there any ordinance against living in a trailer that's on the property in the city?
Yes,
There is a city ordinance on that?
yeah.
Okay. Because if there wasn't, I'd say, I don't know really what the city could do on that if they don't have an ordinance against that. I mean, he's got to store the trailer somewhere anyways, and a lot of people store them on their properties.
This is.
So it could be parented into that, but apart from that, if there's actually a city ordinance against, living in the trailer, then yeah.
It is against the ordinances, both for occupancy and for parking, because it's not a camper. It's a, what is it, a 50-foot trailer? Pretty good sized trailer. It's a mobile home.
Is it a full-size mobile home?
Oh, yeah.
It's a fifth wheel camper. I mean,
Okay, that's a
But
camper,
it's,
yeah.
but it's,
I would classify it as like one of those more, what do you call them, like where they park them at a
Seasonal.
Park
seasonal-
model?
Yeah, like a park
They call them a
model.
park model, yes.
Yeah,
It's pretty
but
big.
it's big. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably the size of my main floor of my house, square footage wise. It's,
I haven't seen him do anything to that place since, I mean, I was out there when he put the paint samples on, and
that's what the last
that
progress
was the
I've
last
seen.
thing
on it.
I saw.
has he given any indication as to if he's granted to health issues or something going on that, why he hasn't made any progress?
He says he's been working and he hasn't had the money to do anything.
I can say from my parents, they had just finished up a remodel over in Iowa. And their costs during, because they started doing it kind of around the beginning of COVID, but even now, some of the costs still haven't fully leveled off yet. But the cost of building materials have gone up very considerably.
Yeah.
What they originally, where they originally quoted it for building supplies and everything, probably they looked at 2 to 3 times more what they originally quoted it at. So monetarily, I can honestly see that too.
Yeah, and that's true. It's, cost of materials has just skyrocketed. I think nails have tripled, just simple old nails. But like you said, we have seen no results in the last year. And if you can't do it, I'm sorry, but we've got an eyesore, and like I say, it's not a trailer park. It's time that the mobile home, or however we want to call it, has to relocate. We gave him 1 year to live there, and that has expired.
And the one on Iowa Street, he just keeps hauling in more junk in the backyard. I mean, the whole
Exactly.
thing's an eyesore.
And vehicles, we need court orders to do anything with those anymore. The courts have said we can't go on the property to do anything about them anymore without a court order.
How about boats? I suppose that's the
Boats, same
same.
thing. Anything on wheels.
No, it's making a nice big cat home, because I see him going in and out.
We burned down one cat home this year, that was kind of nice to see go.
Well, any other discussion in regards to these two properties?
What I'd like to do, with your permission, is sit down with Austin and say, okay, we've got to give them notices to perform or vacate.
So if that's what you'd like to do, I think you gotta make a motion to do that. It's a legal form. We have the motion on the agenda. If that's what you'd like to do.
Give it to Austin to send him a letter, correct, to perform or vacate.
Yes, there'll be a legal notice drawn up by the attorneys advising them of their lack of performance and that they either have to perform immediately or have a plan and something that's acceptable. And that's not like, well, we'll get it done over the next 90 days or 150 days. We want to know that it's going to be done, and we can make them post a bond to perform.
Well, I will make a motion to have Austin draw up a legal notice to those two properties.
I'll second it.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
The door hangers that you had hung up, Jeff,
Yes,
what, any feedback on any of those, or not really?
I hung them about 3 weeks ago. Most of them were 30 days or more for notice. Then I took a 2-week vacation, and I'm just back from it, enjoying it, and now I'm gonna follow up on it.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I saw the other day, some things have been done. I'm quite surprised that stack that we had, good share of them have already been done.
Good.
But a lot of them, the rest of them, I think I might have missed a couple of stickers. I found them in my garage. But I think we're getting some performance. We need to probably remind people in the paper that snow's coming around, and we'll be watching sidewalks, driveways.
Sounds good.
I also wanted to clarify, we just made the motion for both of those houses, the one on Iowa and the Broad Street. Did you also need, the legal notice for that garage that was collapsing?
On Union.
I'll have to take a picture and see. We don't, for that, we don't need a motion
Okay.
to go through it.
Okay,
They've been given a legal notice to do something, so
okay,
if they don't perform, we'll go after them.
perfect, thank you, I just want to make sure.
Is there a difference, Jeff, between what we can do as far as if it's a dwelling or an outbuilding? Or is it all fall under the same?
In a residential area.
It's the same thing?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much the same. Because if it's a building, it can be habitable, so people can figure out how to do it.
Sure, okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other discussion? Moving on to number 7, public safety. Monthly stats are in your handouts from Jared. Take a look at those. He is not here this evening and don't look like to talk about it, so there isn't not any discussion. If you'd like to look at it and then visit about it, we surely can.
He didn't have any special input when I asked him about it.
Yeah.
What's this mean by extra patrol? Do you have any idea?
That's pretty much anything that doesn't technically fall under any of the direct categories. It's just kind of an all-inclusive situation.
Any other discussion in regards to it? Moving on. Number 8, wastewater treatment plant. It's in the handout, I believe. Need a motion to approve pay application number 8 in the amount of $161,731.35.
I'll make a motion to approve pay application number 8 in the amount of $161,731.35.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to number 9. Motion to appoint Sarah Aldering to the library board to another term of 3 years through December 2026.
I'll make a motion to appoint Sarah Aldering to the library board to another term of 3 years through December of 2026.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to number 10, one more bar. Looks like we have an executive session. If we need that.
I'll make a motion to enter an executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-24.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We are in at 6:22 PM. Sorry about the delay. We are out of executive session at 7:08 PM. 10B will be tabled till the next meeting. Moving on to number 11, motion to approve annual operating agreement with Total Stop. We went over that a while back, right?
What's that?
That annual agreement with Total Stop. There's nothing in our handouts in regards to it.
No, the new operating agreement should be,
Yeah, I
Maybe
do
I-
have it.
It's right behind the
The
other
only-
agreement.
The only thing that was changed from is updating to the current year and remove under number 3 license, like every year their wine and malt beverage, because that's the only change.
We discussed it at the prior meeting.
Yeah.
I reached out to Sherry and Eric.
Tripod
and they
would've
didn't
been nice, huh?
They didn't feel the need that they needed to be here, so.
Perfect. I'll make a motion to approve the annual operating agreement with Total Stop.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to number 12, golf course. Motion to approve paying Scott Person to remove the old creek bridge, haul away, install a 4-foot concrete culvert, cover with dirt at a cost of $2,500.
I'll motion to approve paying Scott Persing to remove the old creek bridge, haul away, install 4-foot concrete culvert, cover with dirt, at cost of $2,500.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Motion to approve, this is a part-time cook, that's
Kimner, right? Is it Kimner?
a part-time
She
cook.
just texted me, all she did was tell me that they were interviewing somebody. I never got a name from them.
It's a Kimner.
We can't really hire anybody.
I wonder if I shouldn't call her, because
And I had told her last week that the meeting was gonna be next, because she interviewed
yeah,
and
because she,
I thought she was gonna be here, but I never
yeah,
heard
because she
back.
said I'll see you Monday, I thought she said. Should I call Landon?
Go ahead.
Vaughn Kemner's way.
It's their son, the oldest son,
Ethan?
and he's cooked at a nursing home.
Probably
One of-
Ethan.
What's the next one?
Ethan was closest to my age, but I'm quite a bit older than him. I can't remember.
I think he's still in, I don't know if he said he's still in school.
You remember Ethan, though?
Wasn't he in 8th grade when we were seniors?
Ethan?
Yeah.
He was 2 years younger than me, so he'd be 3 years younger than you
Yeah,
guys.
and he graduated in 8th grade.
9.
We were 7.
Oh, you were 7, okay,
we were
so
Say
then,
we're at city council here. Who is the Kemner boy? Zach Kemner? Okay, and he has started to train, right? Tomorrow night. Okay, and is that at, what was the hourly rate you told me? Okay, okay. I don't know. I'm just, we have to vote on it, so, because I think that is what they start at, yeah, cook. Yeah, it says a cook. Okay, just finding it out. Yep, Zach Kimner,
What's that hourly rate, Darla?
$13 an hour, that's what the cooks get. And that's what he will be.
all right, well, I would make a motion to approve Zach Kemner as part-time cook at $13 an hour, effective immediately.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to 12C, motion to approve annual operating agreement for Elsister Golf Course.
Is there any changes to that?
Just the years, I mean,
No.
it's just updating to the 2024 operating budget.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to approve annual operating agreement with the Elsister Golf Course.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And those were all reviewed by Austin and he approved them. So.
Just an update, I don't know if this would be, they had a very good Friday night.
They're so
200
busy.
240 some meals Friday night from the Christmas thing.
Good.
It was
So-
very, very busy.
They said they got kicked.
I talked to Big Mike the other day too, and he said that there's a couple afternoons there extremely busy.
Yeah,
No, it was just,
they had 45 people in the other side.
yeah,
That's
so
all.
it
And
was
waiting in the hallway.
a lot.
Now, Saturday night was dead, but maybe everybody went Friday night.
Yeah, they're saying Mrs. Claus couldn't go have supper for Friday night because there's so many kids up there.
Yeah,
So could we work along with Mr. Peterson out there and or the other coastlines or however a guy would do that to see if we could even maybe
I've
snag
talked to
more
him
of that
about
business?
it, so we'll see. Yeah, they were gonna talk to Mike out at the
Because
Norris.
that could be a plus for,
Yeah,
both
I know
ways.
they had a group Saturday from that, but
right.
you need more of that.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Moving on to 13, Finance Office, motion to approve November warrants.
I'll make a motion to approve the window warrants.
The double payment to Walther, did that get reversed?
She's sending me the reimbursement
Okay,
check, yeah.
sorry, continue.
I'll second it.
Yeah, I did that thinking it was because we have a printer contract for up here and we have one for the police station.
Yeah.
And they came on separate invoices and that was my mistake, I didn't catch it in time.
No, that's okay, I just want to make sure.
So they're sending that to us, I should hopefully have that later this week. or
Speaking of
next week.
printer, they get yours, apparently they got.
Yeah, they came up and got it fixed this morning, so a good chunk of the water bills went out.
Well, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I'm second,
Me.
Darla did.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to number 15. 14 we already had done. Move to 15, motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-24 if needed.
Yes, I will make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 12521 personnel.
I'll second.
I think it should have been for contract negotiations,
Yeah.
correct?
No, I said one.
Oh, 1, sorry.
One.
Gotcha.
You second it, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We are in at 7:16 PM.
God damn.
dang it, now I gotta turn it off again. It's gonna fall again, you know.
I thought you guys had a nice turnout Friday.
We are out of executive session at 7:53 PM. Moving on to reminders, open forum night, Monday, December 11th at the Morningside Event Center at 6 PM. If you see anybody in the community, really encourage them to come.
So what is our plan for that? How does it work?
Winging it.
We're winging it, yeah. So, as far as I know, Lucas had asked me about, service. I did talk to, Kelsey and Landon. They are still they were gonna do either just desserts or maybe like sandwiches. They were gonna see what Cisco had available, so they didn't have to bring in a cook. But Kelsey was gonna open up the bar, so we'd have, all drinks available for anybody that wanted to come in, and then we'll have either just desserts or finger foods. And then it's Harley from CCOG. I talked to her today. She's able to come down. She's gonna be here in person. So if there's any specific questions about the wastewater treatment plant or the upcoming, what we're looking at for the, replacement of the lines, she'll be able to help answer those questions, specifically the funding. Tanya's gonna help put together some talking points. I have some maps that show the 3, zones for the city for the wards. And Lucas and I have kind of talked, just kind of some talking points about, it's kind of a state of the city. Think of it as like a state of the city address, state of the union address, narrowed down to a city of 500, 800 people. Just kind of, here's the project that we're working on, the treatment plant. This is where we're at, this is how it's getting paid for, this is where the funding, and that's why I asked for Harley and Tanya's input too, just because I don't understand it all. This is where all the money's coming from, this is why your utility bills had to go up, because everything requires that the city has to fund a portion of it. And because that's one big question that I've heard the most is, why are our utility bills so high? Well, and this gives everybody the opportunity that we can explain this is the why. Because we are required that we had to raise the rates because we have to fund a portion of it. And then everybody, here's your Ward 1 representative, Ward 2 representatives, Ward 3 representatives. Guess what? It's election year coming up. The entire council's up for election. The mayor's up for election. If you'd like to be part of the decisions, this is what you have to do. This is what's required if you want to run, if you want to be on the ballot. Because I'm doing election training next week, so I'll have an inkling of knowledge of what is required. And then input from the citizens, giving them a chance outside of a formal meeting. Hey, this is what we'd like to see. Personally, outside of my employment, one of the things I'd like to talk about is let's form a committee of the citizens to start researching into replacing the pool and to replacing some of the park equipment that's old. I know there's some grants out there, from what I've been told. I don't know much. We don't need a fancy dancy pool like Beresford or Akron, but we need a new pool. It's 60-some years old probably. Other things that we could do down at the park is, update the camping pads. Let's take them out of where they're at. We have a whole section right behind the old depot that doesn't get used. We can put camper pads in there, maybe put in a couple of small, tiny house cabins that people can rent. Kind of just modernize it, things like that. What do other people want to see in town? Obviously, one of the big things people want to see is streets. Well, we can have Lonnie, because all the departments that need to be there. Lonnie can kind of say, okay, this is a funding thing that, we have so much budgeted per year. We take the highest priority streets that need the most amount of work. After that, it's, we have to find the funding for it. This is what it costs to replace a block. And Lonnie's told me approximately, and maybe I'm not remembering 100%, it's like
That is a big one,
yeah,
because people complain.
resurfacing the
all
streets
time.
per block to resurface an entire street is about $100,000 per block, from what Lonnie told me. But it just, and what, if you're new to town, when you live somewhere else, what did that town have that you like, that you'd like to see us work on, that we can, bring these ideas to the council? Or what do we do that you don't like, that maybe it's something that we've done forever? So that kind of thing.
Okay.
And
I just don't want what I'm scared of is people bringing up
The past.
the past.
My
So we
plans for,
shut that down.
yep, I have a plan for that.
Okay.
When I introduce everybody and kind of open things up, I'm going to make a mention, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna word it yet, but, you know, this is about the Alcester of now and the future. If you have issues with Alcester of the past, come talk to me on the side, and let's figure out a time that we can sit down together, so I can take your concerns and bring it to the council, or we can figure out how to bring it to the council together. And I'm, you know, this whole thing is about let's move forward. And that's what I wanna do. The coloring contest, the sheets that we sent out, I talked to emailed Mr. Reed, I'll pick those up on Friday afternoon. The council will pick, so it went out to different group, pre-K and kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd, 4th grade, 5th, 6th grade. And the council will have to pick their top 3 from each grade category. The Chamber of Commerce is gonna donate gift cards for each grade group, in the form of like Chamber Bucks or something. I talked to Amanda, she's gonna be donating those. And we'll be able to feature those on kind of like a feature on a monthly basis or some sort of rotation when we go live with the new website. You know, it won't have to have any information on it, but it'll be like Sally, 5th grade, you know, something like that. So
Is the
kinda,
chamber gonna be up there now?
I'm not sure for 100%. Amanda was going to mention it, so I'm not sure who will be up there. I think there'll be a couple at, whether they're gonna be representing the actual chamber or just citizens.
Okay.
But, so that'll kind of be a big, you know, kind of a big thing for the council to be able to pick those winners from each grade group. We can talk about, you know, how we're updating the website and what we wanna do with that. Get input on how, you know, what people would like to see with the website, and, you know, we're still working on it, so it's, you know, right now is the time to change. If people wanna see something, is it something that we can add in without any additional costs? Or, you know, would that change?
Do we still have the sign from the float and whatnot for the city of Alcester? Or what is that looking like, so that they know who to talk to for what,
I don't
and
know what sign it was there.
didn't we have it printed from the school?
Not.
That I had on the side of the hay rick?
No,
I'm gonna
that's-
have- I'm gonna have
that's
a-
not committee, that was just tag board.
I'm gonna have a-
That off.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have a couple of slides put together in a PowerPoint that I can put up on
Okay, perfect.
the front
Okay.
of, you know, here's your Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3 council members, here's the number to the city office, here's the email address for, you know, for your alderman. So that way, if you wanna reach out to them with questions or concerns, you know, here's my email address or phone number, but have a contact number. So that's, I mean, that's kind of it. The feedback I've gotten from a lot of the community members is they're super excited about it.
Yeah,
Is this online anywhere through, like, on Facebook or any of the social media sites?
I've kind of shared it a little bit, just the thing, but it's not, as far as like, streaming it or anything, no.
No, sorry, I meant, like, is there, like, an event, like, that we
No, I never
could
went that
share,
far.
I mean?
I would just take the page that you had printed on all the coloring
Yeah.
and just send it to Lonnie, he'll post it on that, and then I can post it on
or
Facebook
if
Marketplace.
you talk to, is it Kathy Johansson? She put it on that school thing, the light that comes in town, that,
Southeast Street.
I'll put it on the board up there by Southeast Electric.
yeah,
Mhm.
because we pay for part of that to use.
That's good, yeah.
Oh, and you were talking about the elections before, Dave. I looked into South Dakota state law, if what I've read is correct. If you have just about a total new council, which we pretty well have here, the city can elect to, instead of having everybody, like this next February or something, have to take out papers or whatever it is, we can elect to have some this year, some next year, some the following year, so you don't, because they recommend that a person does that so that you aren't replacing the whole council at the same time, so you have some continuity, so we can do that.
Yeah, that was
You
on my
can check
list of
with us.
questions during election training.
That's a
next
good
week to
point.
talk about, but-
As far
So
as
that's kinda my-
staging like the elections out,
What's that?
as far as staging the elections out, so that way it's not the whole council that's up for
Right.
elect every time.
Right.
That's already, as far as my understanding goes, that's already in place.
Well, I know.
But because everybody's kind of gone on here and gotten kind of added on and been like, oh, hey, you just want to be on the council? Put in your name, and nobody's actually won really an election for quite some time, so nobody's ever really filled that out to a T. But that has already existed as far as my understanding goes.
I don't know who took whose place, or even if we have to do it that way, or we wanna put it in a hat or whatever, I don't care, I'll run the next time.
I'll
It
find
doesn't
out
matter to
next
me,
time.
either I get elected or I don't.
I think the last time it just goes for whatever term placements you were on when you got added onto it, is it just went to, you know, wherever the end of the actual term was that you replaced. If you decided to stay in there and you basically ran unopposed, you would then fill it out for the end of that next term. So each position already has a term set that goes, you know, I think it's like every 2 to 3 years. But if you're added onto it, that you just fill out the rest of that term until your seat is up for election again. Then again, that's what I knew on that, is that it was already in place in like every 2 to 3 years, depending on how that is. That's how that already goes. So even if you were on there, let's say your seat had 1 year left on it for the previous person, then at the end of the year, your seat is up for elect, whether you got appointed or not. And that was the difference between appointment and election, was that the appointment only ended until the elected seat was up.
Sounds good.
Any other questions about the forum at all?
No.
No, that
That's
helps
good.
me, yeah. I just didn't want it to turn into,
Yeah.
No, I won't, yeah, I won't.
I don't think
I
it
will do my
will,
best
but you
to not
never
do
know.
that.
Moving on to the next reminder, city office closed for Christmas holiday, Monday, December 25th. City office closed Monday, January 1st for New Year's Day. And then Melissa Kaiser performing at the Morningside Event Center, evening of Friday, December 15th. I do not have a time on that, do you?
I wasn't given a time.
So, any other reminders? If not, I need a motion to adjourn the city council.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the city council.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We adjourned at 8:05 PM.